Well, I often start my international trips from LAX Bradley, and they have this looks like a vacant poster board, which I go, huh? And then it dawned on me, it's like LA. I made it here to Madrid at the Barajas International Airport in Terminal 4, long distance to Terminal 1. Once I had to take a taxi, not to miss the plane on the earliest flight, because the next bus was 30 minutes away. But here we have the two different kinds of transport. On the left is the metro, costs $2 for the card, save it. On the right is the Cercanía suburban trains. They give you a free card. You can reload it. I'm going to be doing a day trip to Toledo, and to and from ticket gives you a discount. Madrid's main train station, Porta Atocha, or if you like, Atocha, and my ticket says Almud Gur something. Turns out it's a name after a woman, I guess, and I don't know who she is. And it turns out, well, it's the same station. We'll see how this works out. Well, here we are in Madrid's Puerta Atocha, and there's our train for Toledo, and so I guess it's the same for Almaguer or whatever. Notice that second train is an Ebro train. That is an Italian cheap service in Spain. I'm going to check that one out. Notice also Planta Baja means ground floor. Primera Planta means upstairs to depart. We're in Atocha's main station, and they're still calling it Atocha as near as I can tell. You have, well, access to the metro, the Cercanía regional trains, the medium distance trains, and the long distance trains, really in two sections. Little info booth, I found out that Almud is the same thing as Atocha. She's a famous Spanish writer, and you might think of it like Moynihan as applied to the Penn Station in New York. With the train station here in Toledo in the upper right-hand corner, about almost a dozen blocks down, you can take the Escalera Mecánica, the escalator. Well, I think I'll take the bus, at least going. Here at Toledo, former capital of Spain, on the left here we'll see the escalator, although we're taking the bus up this time. Also right next to it is a great modern art museum. Toledo at Plaza Juan de Mariana. Pretty little park. Wonderful church and bit. But my favorite here is Gilda, a wonderful little restaurant. And you get to eat in the park. My favorite. My favorite little meal, it's a paella, but not a paella with any of that goddamn moriscos. We want it with chicken. We call it Valenciana. Well, as we leave Toledo, and so is the bus, there's the Central right there, and here's our little view. We're going to be taking the Escalera down and leaving the really good Modern Art Museum. Here's our train going from Toledo back to Madrid, Atocha, but now they call it Almud. Go figure.
Próxima estación. Madrid, Puerta de Atocha, Almudena Grande. Final de viaje.
Well, things get curiouser about the trains in Spain. I'm not going to do it. Here is a reservation with a Ouigo. It's a discount train service. It's French, spelled the French way. They also operate discount trains in France. Not to be confused with Avlo, that's the discount service with Renfe, the Spanish train booking system. In addition, there is now something called Iro. It's an Italian service. It's also inexpensive. They also operate trains to Malaga, unlike, say, the Ouigo. In either case, they both cost 18 euros, just about the same had I waited in line, or had I been able, with handling, postage, to get them on your rail, no longer Rail Europe, which I can't do anyhow. I'm at it. Here's a reservation I did make on Eurail. It's a regular French ticket, and you'll see it says Inouï upside down, I know. And it goes from Barcelona to Montpellier. I did the reverse one, Paris to Barcelona. These tickets are price dependent on distance, so the Paris one was a little more expensive. And the point I'm making is I'm also going to be taking the train to Lille instead of Brussels because the Brussels is not available on Eurail. Also, it's cheaper if I book that way. I'll be connecting from Lille, Flanders instead of Lille, Europe. Well, I'm going to Salamanca and I'm leaving, well, looks like now you leave from Principe Pio, abbreviated P.Pio, and the little small print says something about it's good on the Cercanía. And I just checked that little info booth there, wouldn't work on the machines, and they said, yeah, that's only from Madrid Chamartin, the northern station. I figured out why. That's the old departure point. Unlike the Madrid Metro, you do need your Cercanía card to exit, so keep it for the end. In going to Salamanca, noting that there's a high-speed stop instead, taking a second proper name, and that's generally the case, not always. Other ones come to mind, Figueres, Zaragoza, Córdoba, and even if you apply the rule in Malaga. To Salamanca, there's really two stops. That's only going closer into town. The second one being La Almamedia. It's just a perfunctory stop. To depart, you have to go to the main station, Salamanca. Well, this is the main Salamanca Renfe station. Far cry from the little pit stop where you get off only. And not to be confused with the high-speed station, which is the second name. Notice up there it says Adif. That's also the same thing. That's the administration arm of the rail system. Here at Madrid's main southern station, Atocha now has a second appellation for Almud, but don't let that confuse you. It's either way on the ticket. It's probably one of my favorite hotels. Price to move. It's not the cheapest. There are cheaper pensiones. I've been in probably, 500 cities and 100 countries. Well, this one, everything, service, breakfast, price, friendly, competent, rare you get all four. High-speed side of the station at Atocha in Madrid. By the way, most trains you may have to board upstairs through airplane type control. There's an information booth there, and far better to do your reservations over here. Less confusing, because on the other side, that's for the Cercanía and metro trains with all the confused tourists. Well, guess what? There is the office for the brand new Italian Euro trains. I'm going to be taking the Ouigo, that's the French version, that's internet only. This Ouigo French train, an internet only train, you actually can gain up to a half hour because it makes no intermediate stops. It's very similar to the TGV, and the meal service, however, is perfunctorily snack only. Promotion on the Global Eurail Pass, 33 countries through March 21st, 10% off. And I did, while I'm only traveling in Spain, check into the Spanish Pass. Boy, is it convoluted. It depends upon the type of train, high speed, intermediate distance, and because almost any significant train in Spain requires a reservation, it doesn't have much of a convenience, and it's way too costly, so I didn't. You can get nearly all train information on the Germanbahn.de site, except for commuter trains in Spain. You can go to the Renfe.es site, look for Cercanías, they're listed by city, although in the case of Barcelona et al., it's called Rodales Catalunya. And you get the information there. Note again, we have the Madrid Metro card, costs €2. The Cercanía, which is run by Renfe, And then you have the Rodales card for Barcelona and region. That one is not refillable, but free. Get tired of the bocadilla tortilla, the omelet potato sandwich. I love Pans and Company. They serve a great chicken sandwich. Found major places. Here it happens to be on the beat in Sitges, the party town. Found also outside the Barcelona Saint Station, inside the Madrid Chamartin, and as I recall, in Salamanca. You can see why I presented the clearer version on the metro and commuter trains here in Barcelona. You have the TMB, that's a true metro. The FGC, that's kind of a metro. Then you have the Rodales, those are the regional cercanía trains. Your pass is valid. Barcelona Saint Station over there, Estação, if you want to speak in Catalan. Here is Pans and Company. I was in error about the one being in Salamanca. It should have been Principi Pio. By the way, the one in near downtown on Paseo de Gracia next to the Gaudi building is no more. Where? I'm here at Barcelona's Sagrada Familia, and you talk about your tourist bordello. It's a madhouse, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs. Looked at the west side, which has been more complete. It'll never be completed. It's even uglier. Poor Gaudi. Well, I'm known for being thrifty, not stingy. The difference is I use saving money on necessities to splurge on luxuries. Or as the Spanish say, soy codo. I walk on my elbows to save shoe leather. But, you know, I had this reservation at 5 p.m. going to Madrid from Barcelona. And it's just too cold. I want to stay in a nice warm hotel. I got a last minute ticket for 29 euros. That's really amounts to a 10 euro per hour savings. And it was worth it. Using Wigo Spain. Well, I did make my last minute reservation, Barcelona and Madrid with Wigo, the discount carrier. I did check IRO, IRYO, the Italian version. Well, I still went with Wigo. They sent me a message, 10% discount, today only, and I used that for 2 other tickets, which I've been fretting over, and I'll cease doing so, between Malaga and Barcelona via Madrid. There is one direct train, too late. Turns out I checked, it's not even faster. Now I don't have to read about this anymore. Barcelona Saints, the far right hand, we have the departure board for the high-speed trains, including even those to France. And you got to go through airplane type baggage control. And looky here, the office for Irio, the new Italian cheap train service. They have an office in the station. The Wigos do not. They're internet only. This Spanish ticket automat for the Renfe trains. You can recognize the flags. Top center is Basque. I can't do that one. French on the right. Bottom right is Gallego, if you will. It's kind of Portuguese. In the middle is Valenciano. It's the dialect of Catalan on the lower left, just as I was getting Catalan, if you will, accent on the terminal A. Look up my site, Euro Foreign Languages. I have the Catalan rules attached to the Spanish with their very peculiar prepositions. This is our Wigo train in Barcelona Saints. Attention, you have to go to a special gate, C, not the normal high-speed airplane control gate. And notice its own special livery. The Wigo train, internet only, and the InWe train, French, and the German-built Spanish Ave. Here is the newest one, Irio. It's from Italy, has French livery, and even says Fleccia Rossa, red arrow, just like in Italy. We're going to Kodos, a former volcano, big high mountain. We're going to have to change at Cerderia, and it takes about 2 hours, about a round-trip ticket, saving me 10%. Here in Madrid, Chamartin, which also has a second name, but nobody's using. A little tip, if you want to go between Chamartin and Atocha, your pass is valid, and you want to save time and distance, board at the end of the train going in the wrong direction. You'll save some steps. cercanía. We're going to Kotos on the, well, these are old-timey trains. Do note they want a reservation. I got one. We approach Kotos. There's a similar train ride in Austria, Maria itself. Highly recommended. And it's snowing here in Kotos at this mountaintop. You know, it's been a long time, maybe 33 years, 100 trips, and boy, things have changed. No more money orders. Don't have to take a boat to go to England or Sweden. Gee, we have cell phones. One of the reasons Nokia in Finland, I couldn't even make a phone call to the U.S. from Finland. You had to change money. No internet reservations. As we come into Los Angeles, much like the old hippie song, if not the Warner Brothers prior to the 1953 change by the city council on the pronunciation, you can always tell the other studios did Los Angeles, none of which were the proper Spanish. No wonder they standardized it in